Welcome to the Creative Living and Growing with Bren podcast, episode 10A16, Raised Bed Art with Garden Frames. This podcast is all about connecting with others so we can all learn and grow together. Hey everyone, I'm so glad you could connect with me today. I'm Bren, the host of this podcast. I'm living and growing in Zone 5B, Ohio. You are going to love today's episode. I have an amazing guest who is a microbiologist. Scott of MyGardenInnovations.com merged his training and his talent for creating things with his passion for gardening. Hey Scott, how are you doing this morning?
Hi, Bren. Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me.
Awesome. Well, hey, you know what? It is awesome to start the day talking about gardening. So I am thrilled to have you on, Scott. And you're over on the website, mygardeninnovations.com, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking we met on LinkedIn, maybe.
Yes, I think that's where I connected with you, and
Awesome.
as a master gardener and blogger. So yeah.
Awesome. So hopefully, just before we went live, you shared a little bit with me about your background. Can you tell me a little bit about, because you do garden, but what else are you into?
So I'm actually trained as a microbiologist. I'm a microbiology professor at Rutgers University in Newark, and I've always loved growing things. I've always loved gardening, and I've also loved building things and being creative. And over the years, in my garden, I've been developing tools and devices and apparatus and accessories that I thought, well, if I need them and I use them, then other gardeners might benefit from them as well. So I merged my training in science and development and inventing with my passion for gardening, and put those together to create GardenFrames, where we now have our first product coming out in about a month, the GardenFrame.
That is so
So I'm
cool.
very excited about that.
Okay,
Yeah,
I gotta bug you a little bit about a microbiologist.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do? You like swim and snorkel and look at stuff, or what?
No, I study bacteria, very small
cool.
organisms, and in fact, bacteria are extremely important in gardening, as well as for soil and for allowing the breakdown of nutrients and waste products, and providing nitrogen and other elements and nutrients for plants. So I've done a lot of environmental microbiology. I do medical microbiology now. So we work with bacteria and how they can be used for developing drugs and therapies. So it's a little different than gardening, but the idea of experimenting is pretty much the same. And of course, there's a nice quote that says, there are no mistakes in gardening, only experiments. And the nice thing is, in gardening, I get to eat my experiments, which I can't do in labs. So it's a beautiful laboratory outside that I get to work in sometimes.
That is awesome. That's pretty cool. That's a cool job. And I get some weird things growing in my dome sometimes. So I can see where the crossover there would be, useful. So that is awesome. Yeah. So so forgive me again, what state are you in?
I'm in New Jersey. Yep.
Okay.
I'm in central New Jersey, right? So zone 6B. Yep.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So, let's see here. So I'm gonna have to show some images. People are gonna have to click over on your website, check out this product that you've created.
Sure.
So what inspired you to get going on this cool invention, GardenFrame?
Yeah. Thank you. So the GardenFrame basically allows anyone, anywhere, to build a raised garden bed or garden box, planter. And, for many years, of course, we all use raised garden beds. There are many advantages and benefits to it. And I couldn't really find a great system for easily building one, and one that was really elegant and beautiful. And so we came up with this GardenFrame system, which, allows anyone to sort of just design any size raised bed or planter they want, drop the wood into the corners, and then complement it beautifully with a cap on each corner, and then start growing. And like I said, I think what I really love about them is that they're just different. They're completely different from what you find out there. The designs, I'm really happy with the design. Terry Chu is our designer. She has a degree in design
Okay.
from UC Davis, and has just done an excellent job with this.
They are gorgeous. And
Thank you.
I mean, technically, you can take a couple of, just a basic piece of wood
Yeah.
and with these garden frames, it looks like a piece of art. I mean, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, we sort of the motto is frame your art, your outdoor art,
Love
artwork,
it.
because gardening is for us gardeners, right?
Yeah.
It's a piece of art. So it's beautiful.
Very cool. So, okay, so we got to touch base a little bit here because I just mentioned wood. And I know, when I first started doing raised bed gardening, I've used railroad ties, which were not good. It got some, that was a long time ago. I know. I just wasn't thinking, but I'm not alone. A lot of people do that.
Right.
And
Of
then
course.
so also then my next, thing was I used treated lumber. And that's a whole
Right.
nother, thing you need to research there if you're gonna, especially if you're gonna grow edibles in there. You don't want your soil to be contaminated and whatnot. So
Sure.
what type of wood do you suggest for these frames?
Usually people recommend cedar
Okay.
because it's naturally rot resistant, and you can get it from most lumber yards,
Hmm.
and it's a nice finish. We have used, again, depending on whether you want to grow completely organic or worried about the chemicals. We have used treated lumber as well. Some people are fine with that, or staining the wood if you want to give it a different design, especially a planter. So it varies depending on what people's interests are, but I think everybody has their sort of preference. But cedar is pretty commonly used as a natural wood for raised garden beds if people are worried about chemicals.
Nice. And you can get that anywhere, pretty much your local hardware store, wherever.
Yeah, local hardware store
Yeah.
has that. Yep, different
So cool.
sizes. Nice thing about the garden frame is, for the standard thickness of about 2 inches,
Okay.
you can get any size, length. You
Nice.
can build. So yeah.
Nice. So let's see. So we're framing these, and it's kind of cool because you can basically, like a picture on your wall, you can make it
Yep.
whatever size you want for the most part, right? So, like, what's the
Yep.
smallest you could make with these garden frames?
Smallest, right. So the garden frame, it's a good question, Brent. The garden frame, the length of each corner is about 8 inches. So,
Oh, great.
if you put two together, 16 inches, you want to leave an inch or two in the middle. So we say about 18 inches,
Hmm.
in length if you want a square or, rectangle sort of shape.
Nice.
Which is, you'd probably want that anyways for growing anything. And then it just goes up from there. We built, very large ones.
Hmm.
And we've also stacked, we will be offering a sort of grow higher kit, we call it, where it will include brackets that can be used for attaching two wood panels on top of each other. So you can
Oh,
grow up to
wow.
2 feet. You can add two 12-inch panels. I know some people like to grow in deeper raised beds, easier to get to. You can grow, potatoes and things underground, carrots.
Yeah.
So that will be offered as well, which allows a deeper raised bed to be built.
Very cool. So how tall would that put it if you stack these? Just do two stack, maybe?
Yeah, what we've used is two stacked. They're each about 12 inches, so it's
Okay.
almost 2 feet tall, which is pretty high.
Nice.
Yeah,
Very
that's
nice.
been really nice. We'll have pictures also on the website, I think, at some point if we don't now. So
Definitely. And that's again just right over at mygardeninnovations.com, correct?
that's correct. And we also have a Pre-Fundia site
Okay.
live right now, which is our pre-launch campaign. That we'll have a link from our website to that, so they can
Great.
click on that, learn more, and it will go right to that.
Very cool. So, okay, so you can make these frames kind of small. So immediately, because I grow up in Ohio, it's getting cold.
Mhm.
I've got a few little temporary raised bed type things that I do have to store in my shed. Now, can these stay outside, or what do you do with this?
They can absolutely stay outside, depending on, of course, what you're growing in it. The nice thing is, when you grow it as a raised bed, you don't need a bottom to it because you have the ground, the soil, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a planter, or I like to say garden box, you can add a piece of wood right in the bottom, or whatever paneling you would like to basically allow the soil to stay in the planter, and you basically just drop it in because of the design of it. It has little sort of corners jutting out from the bottom that allow a stake to be drawn into or nailed through
Mm-hmm.
when it's in the ground. But if you put a panel of wood on top of it, it actually holds it right there, and then the weight of the soil just pushes it down, so you don't actually have to screw it in or bolt it in or anything. It just basically holds the bottom, so you can easily lift it up, move it to the indoors if you want to, and it becomes then just a basic planter that you can grow whatever you need to, or in your shed or greenhouse, wherever you're moving it.
Nice. And now, so the product or the material that these frames, the sides, what is that? Like a metal again?
It's made from cold rolled steel,
Okay.
which is a very durable, high strength metal. It can withstand
Nice.
changes in temperature, and it's actually the same material used for making automobile parts, appliance parts, and so it's very strong.
Yeah.
Each corner is about 4 pounds. It gives you an
Wow.
idea of how strong and heavy. You really can't appreciate it by the pictures, but when you hold them in your hands and you try and squeeze them or bend them, it's extremely durable. Very, very strong steel.
That's nice. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering, which I highly recommend if somebody's doing a raised bed, and I've been doing raised beds as I shared earlier. I have had
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
success in raised beds besides
Sure. There we
figuring
go.
that whole, material thing out. So I like keeping them outside because that way,
Right.
let science do its thing to the soil. Add some compost, let that soil, do its thing there.
Sure.
So with these metal pieces on the side or the
Right.
fabric of these frames, will they discolor a little or should we worry
You
about
don't expect
rusting?
them to.
Okay.
Yeah. They're actually coated with an anti-rust
Okay.
coating. And there's one. So we're going to offer it in three colors, three finishes: the harvest copper,
Hmm.
the organic black, and harvest. I'm sorry, the garden steel, we call it. The garden steel is pretty much an unfinished surface, and it's sort of this finish of a chain link fence. The natural
Hmm.
beaten metal, very, very pretty. And that will naturally weather over time, but not rust or fall apart. It will just look more weathered.
Okay.
The other ones do have a finish, a coating that we've had it out for a while now, outdoors in the rain, crazy weather, and
Nice.
it's a very, very nice finish still. It's beautiful, especially the copper. The copper, to be honest, the
Oh,
harvest
yeah.
copper is my favorite. I love the look of it. It's really great.
Right. I bet that's gorgeous with the cedar wood as well.
Yeah, yeah,
Very nice. And I suppose if people, if they didn't want to use cedar and you did want to like paint your wood or something,
yeah.
you just have to remember, what wood, the part of the wood that's touching your soil, you
That's
won't want to
right.
grow edibles and things you're going to eat with something that has, stuff like that.
That's right, and that's a very good point, because you won't see that part, the
Hmm.
inside, so it doesn't have
Right.
to be painted. So you're absolutely right. That's a good
Right.
point.
But how cool. So this is so fun. I mean, I'm excited. I think everybody should try these because everybody can grow. And so, I mean, you make it so easy
Right,
because you can control your soil, you can control the
right.
place that you're putting it, and you can look artist. It's creative. It's a piece of
Yeah,
art. It's not just a piece of wood laying with
that's
plants
right.
growing up.
It's like a part of your home, right? You'd want
Yeah,
to have something beautiful in your home, and our philosophy is the same should be for your garden.
I love it. So,
Yeah.
why else should people consider using your product?
Well, as you mentioned, that you don't need much space. There are a lot of urban gardeners now, especially in big cities. Younger people want to get into gardening who may think it's overwhelming or intimidating, but they love the idea of growing their own food
Yeah.
and knowing where their food comes from, and being able to go onto their balcony or porch, patio, and pick some basil leaves or some peppers or tomatoes and bring them in and cook with them. And this allows them to do that. And a lot of people tell us, well, what's out there, they don't like the way the corners look, or it's too difficult to um, drill into the ground or
Mhm.
whatnot. But this becomes a beautiful part of their home, as I mentioned, and so it almost becomes a piece of furniture that they're happy to have there. So
Definitely.
I think it allows people to get into gardening, and the seasoned gardeners, I think, will have a new way to think about gardening with this new
Love it.
masterpiece, if you will.
Yeah.
in
It's
the garden.
gorgeous. So I highly recommend everybody get over to Scott's website at mygardeninnovations.com, and you'll have all the links on there for
Right.
the are you active on social media at all? Where else can our audience find
Yeah.
you on the
So
web? Hmm.
sure, we have a Twitter page. We have an Instagram page. We're building our Facebook page right now. We're advertising on Facebook for our pre-launch campaign, and the actual launch will be in mid-November on Kickstarter. We're going to start there, and then we're going to raise some funds in order to start the manufacturing process
Hmm.
and make that available as a reward on Kickstarter, and then we'll be selling it on our website after the Kickstarter campaign. So we're very
How
excited about that.
exciting. It is so exciting. So we can
It
actually,
is.
I love these new projects like this because we can actually watch you grow on the web.
Right, absolutely.
You're active on
That's
social.
right.
Love it. So, okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for taking the time today, Scott, to share with me.
Thank you,
And
Brent. I appreciate it.
I wish you lots of luck. I know this is going to be a great adventure for you. And
I
thanks
appreciate
again.
it, and thank you for your interest. And it's been great talking to you. And we love your website. So
Thank you.
we visit it often. Thank you, Brent.
Thanks. Be sure to click over to visit Scott at mygardeninnovations.com for the latest and to check out all these beautiful garden frames that were mentioned in today's presentation. I know you will enjoy the website. The designs are super unique and will fit in most any garden space. For more images and links that were mentioned in this presentation, visit my website at brenhaas.com. Click on the podcast button at the top of the page to find this episode in the directory. As always, I'd love to hear from you, right? Like now, so tweet me. I'm always on Twitter at BG_garden and Facebook. Just put Garden Chat Bren in the search bar. Until next time, I hope you find time to get outside, enjoy the garden.